family of 5 moves into their dream house in the country
Everybody had their own bedroom.
It felt safe.
and soon encounters paranormal activity. What begins with footsteps and imaginary friends
Something was there.
escalates into something so evil
I saw her laying in a puddle of blood, and I thought she was dead.
and so powerful, it may never be tamed.
Cast into hell all the evil spirits. Amen.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. Brookville, Ohio is a farming community on the outskirts of Dayton. It's one of those everyone knows your business sort of places. Settled in 1850, Brookville sprung up from nowhere along newly laid railroads built to connect larger cities.
I grew up in the country. It was safe, fun, big yards, close-knit community, and that's what I wanted for my children.
Hey, come on, let's get in here. Get in there, little tiger.
In the fall of 2008, Alicia Kane and her husband Scott
We got quite a haul.
moved their family from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to rural Brookville.
When we saw this house, we knew that it was going to be perfect.
Everything kind of reminded us of where we lived at before, and we kind of fell in love with the place right off the bat.
Did you scare them?
Oh, gosh.
Mac is 15.
And what about you? Did people think you were a witch?
Farah is 10.
And what about you, little devil?
And Marissa is 6.
Financially, we were very stable. She was able to stay at home with the kids and not have to worry about work.
It was a quiet little town. Everyone knew everyone. It felt safe.
Inside, the 4-bedroom house feels spacious and open.
Look at this.
We've always been in smaller homes, and it was a good-sized house, and we would have plenty of room.
Everybody had their own bedroom, and there was lots of space for everyone to run around. And
Who's got some candy for Dad, huh?
What is that?
But the house and property are not as ideal as they appear to be. Within these walls, bad things have happened. Spirits are not at rest. By March of 2009, the family has settled in. Scott's job as a corporate auditor often takes him away from home, leaving Alicia to tend to the kids and household duties.
At that time, my husband was staying out of town a lot.
all I wanted to do was be there with them, and all they wanted was for me to be there with them, and it was pretty difficult. Sometimes I spend 2 weeks at a time away from home and come home on the weekend and then go right back. It was really hard on all of us.
Six months after moving into the house, weird things started happening. I heard footsteps, and it sounded like bare feet hitting the wood floor. I just had this eerie feeling. I couldn't see anything, but something was there. All of a sudden, I heard footsteps. They were getting closer and closer. All of a sudden, it stopped.
Mac?
When I didn't see anything, it made me feel like maybe it was just me. I felt confused, frightened, crazy. My gut told me that something wasn't right in that house.
Alicia decides to keep the strange experiences to herself. When Scott returns home from his business trip, she feels safe once again. But one night, Alicia suddenly wakes up to intense heat. It feels as if the house is on fire.
I was really hot. I had to throw the covers off. It must have been 90 degrees in that house. I was burning up.
Scott, did you turn up the furnace? Scott.
At first, I thought maybe the children had turned the heat all the way up.
But the thermostat has not been touched.
So I went to go check the furnace. The furnace was turned all the way up. I knew it was weird that there was nothing to explain it, but I just kind of let it go.
One afternoon, Alicia hears something out of the ordinary.
What's your brother's name?
It sounds as if her daughter Marissa is having a conversation.
I have a brother too. His name is Mac.
I noticed that she was talking to somebody that wasn't there.
Who are you talking to, Marissa?
Jacob.
She was telling me that it was a little boy named Jacob and his brother named Stephen.
Him and his brother Stephen used to live here. Look, I drew a picture of them.
Why are they wearing masks?
Jacob said they got hurt real bad.
She told me that they wore sacks over their heads because they got burned in a fire and they didn't want to scare her. She said the house was right where our house is now. She said the little boys were upstairs in the loft playing. The dad was outside tending to the animals. The mom was cooking. The kitchen stove was a wood stove, and that's what caught fire.
Stephen, Jacob, where are you?
It all made sense now. The creaking, the footsteps, the furnace. I knew something was going on in that house.
Where are Jacob and Stephen now?
Right there.
I didn't know what to think, but when Marissa told me everything in detail, so much detail, I knew she couldn't be making it up. It frightened me.
In the fall of 2008, the Kane family, Alicia, Scott, and their 3 children, move into a house in Brookville, Ohio. At first, all is well, until a few months later when Alicia begins to suspect their home is haunted. Wherever she goes, Alicia feels as if something or someone is taunting her.
I heard footsteps and the furnace was turned all the way up. I felt uneasy about the house, what was going on, but I didn't know what to do about it.
But then, 6 months after moving in, the situation becomes disturbing when her 6-year-old daughter Marissa begins talking to imaginary friends she says died in a fire on the property.
When Marissa told me everything in detail, so much detail, I knew she couldn't be making it up. And I started feeling that the little boys haunted the house. My gut told me that something wasn't right. I just wanted answers.
Alicia has not said a word to her husband, Scott.
I decided not to tell Scott because he was out of town working a lot.
Instead, she takes matters into her own hands and does some research at the local historic society.
I was hoping to find answers of the owners, who lived there, who's died there, anything I could think of.
What Alicia discovers rattles her to her core. Factual evidence to back up her daughter's story.
I found out there was a home on the property in 1865 and that it had burned down, so that confirmed what Marissa had told me. In that moment, I knew something was going on in that house.
The records offer nothing more about the house or its inhabitants, but Alicia believes her daughter's new friends were burned alive on their land.
It made me feel very frightened. I wasn't scared of ghosts, but I was scared of the unknown.
That night, Alicia tells her husband about the records of the fire and Marissa's new friends.
I'm really worried about Marissa. What if they're not imaginary friends? I don't know, what if our house is haunted? I found this map in the Historical Society, Scott.
Honey, she's just using her imagination. It's normal behavior for a kid her age in a new place.
I kind of reassured her that kids have imaginary friends and it's kind of normal and there's nothing odd about it or strange. She's the youngest and the 2 older kids would kind of leave her out of stuff, so I just thought she was trying to make her own friend, you know, have someone to talk to because they were kind of older and kind of ignored her a lot of times, so I just thought she was trying to have a friend, imaginary friend.
I was a little upset that he didn't believe, but I wasn't scared of the little boys. I felt like they weren't there to hurt us, that they were just trying to let us know what happened to them.
It's an old house. When you turn the hot water on, the pipes knock and make noises underneath the house, and the doors all creak, and when the wind blows, you could hear it in the windows, and when cars drive by, it's kind of loud sometimes, and the lights will play tricks on you.
I just tried to not focus on the house being haunted and live normal.
Then, a few weeks later,
Mom, someone's in my room.
Scott, Marissa said somebody's in her room.
You could tell she was very upset.
Relax, sweetie. You're probably just having a nightmare.
Maybe she should sleep in here tonight.
Honey, it's fine. Come on, kiddo. Let's go check this out.
That made me feel uneasy, very uneasy. I didn't like it that my child was upset and scared.
Go ahead. Go on, jump up there. want you to understand there's nothing in here that can hurt you, okay?
Okay.
I think me trying to protect them, I was trying not to scare them, but I think it might have backfired a little bit because then they were saying, you know, Dad doesn't believe me or doesn't trust me.
I love you.
It's 2010. For months, Alicia Kane has been convinced that her house is haunted by the spirits of young boys who died in a fire on the property long ago. Her 6-year-old daughter carries on conversations with the ghosts who appear friendly.
What's your brother's name?
While her husband, Scott, refuses to believe.
Honey, she's just using her imagination.
One night, young Marissa is visited by a much more terrifying entity.
Mom, someone's in my room.
Honey, it's fine. Come on, kiddo. Let's go check this out. There's nothing in here that can hurt you.
All of a sudden, we heard this terrifying scream. She said she saw a woman in her room. She said the woman's dress was torn and she was bleeding. It was very real to her.
I had never seen her that scared before.
It's okay.
What happened?
Nothing.
Marissa's older siblings, Mac and Farah, are concerned about their sister.
I knew something was definitely strange going on.
But Scott still isn't ready to accept that his house is haunted.
Scott thought that because we were talking about the little boys, it stirred up Marissa's imagination.
Come on. She can stay in our room tonight.
I knew 100% that my house was haunted. I was starting to think that there was more to it, not just the little boy ghost.
Over the next few weeks, everyone in the family is on edge. Even Scott feels the tension.
I started noticing that the kids were a little more skittish in certain areas of the house, and the girls wanted to start sharing a room together. They didn't want to sleep alone. And so we moved Marissa out of her room into Farah's room. The whole kind of vibe of the house had started to change.
We were all walking on eggshells. We didn't know what to do. We were all very scared.
But with Scott working out of town much of the time, it's Alicia who must cope with what her husband still denies. That something sinister inhabits her home.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen next.
Marissa? Farah? Mac?
I was starting to think maybe something bad happened in that house.
Miranda, no!
Didn't you guys hear me calling?
Sorry.
As soon as I went upstairs, I seen him laughing and having a good time, and I was so relieved.
Where'd you get these?
I'm the junk.
You want some like
I
that?
started paying more attention to the kids and keeping them more close to me.
They almost fit you.
Hey, Mom, come look at this.
All of a sudden, Mac handed me this bloody, ripped-up shirt that he had found. It had been placed in the eave of the attic.
Give me that. Kids, go downstairs.
But Mom,
Now.
Alicia believes the bloody shirt has a connection to the woman who scared Marissa in her room.
It was like someone was trying to hide it.
When are you coming home?
And Alicia would call me all stressed out, and then it would be like we'd fight over the phone, and then I'd want to just come home right away, but I couldn't because I had to stay for work. It was really, really hard.
Something is in this house.
Scott still didn't want to believe it. I was all alone, dealing with a stressful situation.
All right.
I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I felt alone, scared. I didn't know what to do. I decided to talk to my neighbors to see if they knew anything that had happened in that house.
Excuse me. Do you know if anything strange ever happened in my house?
I just can't believe you're living in that house. You know someone was murdered there, right?
Murdered? What do you mean?
We were all shocked.
My neighbor told me that the previous person that lived in that house had shot and killed his wife.
She was just real sweet. A beautiful girl. What a tragedy.
According to local newspapers, the murder took place in the early 1980s.
Where are you gonna go, Miranda? Where are you gonna go? You have nothing without me. You understand me?
The newspaper article said they had been in an argument,
Miranda, no!
and he shot her twice in the back. It confirmed what had been going on in the house, what Marissa had seen. It's when I realized that the house was really haunted. I was feeling every kind of emotion there is possible. I was scared, frustrated, angry, and now I was worried about my family. I felt completely powerless.
But the real terror for Alicia's family is just beginning. A few days later, Farah hears strange sounds coming from somewhere in the house.
Mom? 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 Mom?
In Brookville, Ohio, Alicia Kane believes her new house is inhabited by the ghosts of two young boys who perished in a fire many years earlier.
After thinking about it, I realized that the boys weren't trying to hurt us.
But the haunting intensifies when Alicia learns a woman was murdered in her house.
Miranda, no!
Mom?
Now, the murdered woman's spirit begins targeting Farah, Alicia's oldest daughter.
Mom?
All of a sudden, I heard this terrifying scream. And Farah was crying and shaking. It was awful.
What happened? I saw her, Mom. I saw her.
She said she heard creaking come from the bathroom, and she saw a bloody woman. She was bloody all over. She had blood coming from her eyes. I tried to calm her down, but it was really hard. She was really freaking out. The way Farah described it, it seemed as if it was the same woman that Marissa had seen.
Alicia is devastated.
It all made sense now, the clothes that Mac found and what Marissa saw. I was absolutely terrified. It was now targeting my kids, and I didn't know what to do.
Alicia feels betrayed because no one told her a murder took place in her home.
I was scared, frustrated, angry that no one told us what happened in the home, and now I was worried about my family. I went to go get the clothes that Mac had found. I threw them in the fire, and I thought it would get rid of everything that's happened. I just wanted it to all go away.
Alicia? What's wrong?
Did you know a woman was murdered in our house?
I didn't really want to believe it still. I was still kind of in denial about it. But when Alicia had told me that the previous owner had murdered his wife in the house, it kind of made everything fall into place.
That's who Marissa saw in her bedroom that night. And Farah saw her in the bathroom this afternoon. And she was covered in blood.
Everything that the kids had experienced, everything that Alicia had experienced, it all made sense. And it kind of floored me.
I found this in the newspaper.
It was, it was staring us right in the face.
I'm so sorry. I didn't believe you.
The evidence overwhelms Scott. He finally believes the house is haunted and accepts the idea that his family needs help.
I knew that she was pretty much at her wit's end, and we needed to find somebody to help us. She was going to fall apart, the kids were going to fall apart, everything was just going to go south from there if we didn't get any help.
We knew that we had to find somebody to help us. We couldn't do it on our own. A mutual friend helped us find the Foremans from Living Dead Paranormal.
Soon after, the team of 3 brothers, Josh, Sean, and Rocky Foreman, arrive at the house. The Kane children spend the night with a friend to ensure their safety.
On this particular case, we started up on the 2nd floor because it was one of the areas when we were doing the walkthrough, you got the heaviness on your chest, and it was also the area that the family was having most of their experiences.
Was that open a minute ago?
I don't think so.
Let's go check out the attic.
Okay.
As soon as I open the attic door, you hear a female voice, just plain as day. It was real drawn out. She goes, "No." It was like she was standing right there with us. At that point, part of you says, get the hell out of the house.
But Josh feels a sense of responsibility to the family. Overcoming his fear, he and Rocky proceed with the investigation.
What was that?
I don't know. Something's in here.
He immediately got a sad feeling, and he had asked if I was feeling the same thing he was feeling, because a lot of times, when you're in the middle of an investigation, you'll get different emotions, from sadness or fear, and just going up the attic, you got that heavy feeling. It was just like an overwhelming sadness.
Are you here with us now? What do you want? What do you want from us?
For the past 2 years, the Kane family has been terrorized by the ghost of a woman who was murdered in their Brookville, Ohio home. The Kanes knew nothing about the killing before they moved in. Their daughter's terrifying encounter with the murdered woman's spirit forces Alicia and Scott to seek help from paranormal expert Josh Foreman and his brothers.
Honestly, I really didn't know if it was gonna work or not. I didn't know what to think about the whole thing.
While investigating in the attic, Josh and Rocky make contact with the murdered woman.
Are you here with us now? What do you want? What do you want from us?
We heard a female voice, plain as day again, like she was standing right there with us, said, "Shoot the Foremans."
When you actually get an EVP, knowing that it's your last name, it's really uneasy.
We've investigated a lot of homes, and we've never ran into anything that was this aggressive. It was definitely eerie to get something that clear. It really validated for us that, you know, whatever was in this house is linked to the murder. We need to pick it up a notch and do whatever we could do to help this family.
Josh breaks the news to Alicia and Scott. This ghost is upset and hell-bent on disrupting their family.
I believe the woman who was murdered in this house is still here.
This was the home that she was supposed to start her family and raise her kids. And then in a very tragic and sudden way, all those dreams were ripped away from her.
The Foremans told us it would only get worse from there.
I tried to debunk things that happened that I couldn't explain or had no excuse for it, but everything that was happening was real.
Josh provides a solution.
We'd like to bring someone in to perform a cleansing.
We were at our wits' ends on it, so we didn't know what to do. I was terrified. I was hopeful that the cleansing would help.
Father Alan Dersham arrives at the Kane house prepared to confront an angry, restless spirit. He's a special kind of priest with many tools at his disposal. He's what's called an eclectic priest.
I follow many different religions to combat the spiritual world. As soon as I got to the property, I felt an immediate, strong, dark presence. I know it didn't want me there.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Something was very hostile. It was almost like it was wanting me to get back in my car and leave.
While the family waits in another section of the house, Alan uses rites and rituals from 5 different religions to cast out the restless spirits.
When I set up a cleansing, I picked the centermost room of the house and I burn a black candle that will absorb every negative energy into the house.
It was strange to have this man with all this weird stuff that we've never had in our home before, but we were willing to try anything.
Saint Michael, the Archangel, defend us in battle. Safeguard us against the wickedness and the snares of the devil.
I could sense spirits of children there, as well as a darker spirit. The children's spirits seemed to be more welcoming and just curious. They seemed to be stuck in the home. The dark entity was on the upper levels of the house, towards the attic and the second floor. The darker spirit in the home was very angry, and you could tell it definitely didn't want me there. I'm at battle with the spiritual realm for this family.
By the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about this world seeking the ruin of souls.
My goal is to get rid of it. Nothing's going to steer me from that goal.
Amen.
I felt very strongly that I had eliminated a presence within the home.
For 1 week, life in the house returns to normal. All paranormal activity stops. Alicia and Scott are relieved, hopeful the cleansing has worked.
It felt as if this big cloud had lifted off of our family.
I was happy. The kids were happy. Everything was pretty much back to the way it was before.
It felt like at the beginning when we first moved into the house.
But the haunting is far from over.
I started feeling this burning on my leg. I was very terrified. All of a sudden, I looked down and saw blood on the bathroom floor. I followed the trail down the hall.
For more than 2 years, the Kane family has been terrified by the bloody spirit of an angry woman murdered in their Brookville, Ohio home. After bringing in professional help and getting the house cleansed, the family believes their nightmare is over.
Cast into hell all the evil spirits. Amen.
But it's not. It's back with a vengeance.
I saw her laying in a puddle of blood and I thought she was dead.
Marissa? Marissa? Marissa?
She woke up and she didn't know what had happened. It looked like she had had a nosebleed, but it wasn't a normal nosebleed.
What happened?
This was my baby, and it terrified me.
Alicia rushes Marissa to the doctor, who explains it's just a bad nosebleed. Alicia believes it's something more sinister.
It was too much blood. Realizing that ghosts could touch you or harm you was absolutely terrifying. I tried to protect my kids, but how can I protect my kids when I can't even protect myself? I felt like it was only going to get worse.
This is the last straw for the Kane family.
To feel safer, we all decided to start sleeping in the living room so we could all be closer together. We felt we could keep a better eye on the kids.
There was so much stuff happening that we couldn't even keep up with it. It was just too much.
The family decides to move out as soon as possible, but for financial reasons, they have no idea when that will be.
We are currently trying to get out of the house. It has been a burden on all of us to not be able to just leave the house. We're financially stuck, but we are saving to get out as quickly as possible.
Me and Alicia decided that was it. We weren't going to take all this stuff anymore. We weren't going to go through everything again. We're trying to ignore all the other stuff that goes on and just concentrate on getting out of there. I had to go and have that talk with my kids again, you know, that we got to be strong.
Dad, what if the ghost comes in here?
Paranormal investigator Josh Foreman plans a formal exorcism of the house once the Kane family moves. He hopes to make it safe for future inhabitants.
Personally, for me, I was devastated to hear that the activity came back because we had tried everything that we knew from the different experiences we've had over the last 10 years of investigating the paranormal.
But there is a chance that whatever they do, the spirits may never be driven from the property.
It needs to be something more in your face that's really gonna push this thing. It's really time for us to think outside the box. My only hope is whatever this is doesn't follow them, and you know, they can be at peace finally.
One thing is certain, the Kane family will be forever haunted by the experience.
I was definitely a skeptic. I didn't really believe in paranormal. No, I really don't know what to tell people. I wouldn't wish anybody to go through anything like that. It's horrible. It's not fun and games. It's really rough.
It's not what I was intending for my children at all. It hurts a lot. It feels like I'm not protecting my family the way I should. I hope and I pray that my kids can get over this. I feel very lucky we have survived.
The Foxes move into a dream house
It was just breathtaking. It was love at first sight.
that soon becomes their worst nightmare.
Blessed are the merciless.
At first, the ghosts and demon taunt and tease.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This cannot be happening.
But then, they attack.
I saw her gasping for air.
Will the family get out before the house claims its next victim? In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. Nestled in the Ozark Mountain region of northwest Arkansas, the small town of Lowell is the kind of place people move to for a slower pace of life and the peace and quiet of country living. It's the summer of 1983, and the Fox family is about to meet their new home.
When we first pulled up to the driveway, it was just breathtaking. It was like Gone with the Wind, Arkansas style. We had been living in Iowa, and jobs were so scarce. It's like we had finally made it, you know? Dad and Mom's hard work was paying off.
The house has plenty of room for the family. Father Jesse, Mother Carol, and their two children, Mary and Wesley.
Is this all ours?
Sure is.
The house was one of the largest houses I'd ever seen in my life. Moving out of the small trailer into the large house was, an incredible feeling for me. I was very happy for my mom and my dad, but also, for my sister.
Wesley was my baby, and he was 8 years old. There's 9 years between Mary and Wesley. Mary quit school. She was 17, and we depended on her to take care of Wesley and do work around the house.
Thanks, Mom.
My mother is still to this day one of the sweetest, kindest people I have ever known. I was close to both of my parents.
Okay, you guys, we're never gonna get the rest of the stuff in the house if you don't stop fooling around.
My father, Jesse, was typically Irish. At that point, he was fun.
The Fox family feels they have lucked out in landing this house. The plant manager at the cannery where Jesse works rents the home out cheap to employees.
Grab the door there, buddy.
Carol and Jesse are surprised at how inexpensive the house is. But sometimes, good deals are good deals for a reason.
Awesome. You said it was nice, but this is amazing.
Dad, where am I gonna sleep?
Well, that's the best part, kiddo. You each get to pick your own rooms.
Really? All right!
Wesley, I'm older than you, so I get the biggest room.
Mary instantly falls in love with the house.
It was just everywhere you looked, it was another wonder. Wow, we're gonna be living here?
And then Mary discovers the attic.
The attic was like every teenage girl's dream. It was pretty much soundproof, so I could listen to my music as loud as I wanted. It was just great.
This is gonna be my room.
But Mary has no idea that the house harbors dark secrets. And in the place she's chosen as her bedroom, unspeakable atrocities have taken place. Later that afternoon, Mary unpacks boxes and watches her little brother while her parents are at work.
I started off with the kitchen stuff because, a couple hours I was gonna have to find Wes something to eat and needed dishes. My parents worked a lot. My relationship with Wes, I was his substitute mom. I was protective of him. And especially if mom and dad were gone, it was like, he's mine now. He's mine to watch over and to protect.
Suddenly, Mary gets the feeling there's someone in the room.
I had a sensation like somebody was really close. And I feel a little breeze. It was a cool breeze. No vents, no air conditioning. I didn't even have a box fan set up in there yet. This is July in Arkansas. It's hot and it is very humid.
Outside, nothing stirs.
I thought it was strange, but there's got to be a reason for it. I decided it's an old house. There's probably cracks and God only knows what else.
Can I go for a bike ride?
Sure. Just be back by noon.
Okay.
Wesley decides to explore his new stomping grounds.
I decided I'm gonna just go right around the neighborhood. Well, I don't get very far away from the house. I cross the tracks, and there's kids sitting outside.
Hey, who are you? You don't live around here.
Now I do. Just moved in the big house back there.
I wouldn't live there if I was you.
Why?
That house is haunted.
Get out!
No, that house is very haunted. I've seen it.
There are no such things as ghosts.
R2.
Ghosts did not exist. It was all just crazy nonsense, kids being kids kind of thing.
A few days later, the house is mostly unpacked, and the Fox family is ready to entertain.
Dad decided he was going to have barbecue on a day off. It was a lot to celebrate.
It was beautiful. Of course, it was hot, but we had the barbecue.
I'm gonna get you. No, you're not.
And one of the people that came over was my niece, Christy. She was closer to my age, so we were pretty, good playmates.
Hey, you wanna go in the basement? No, it looks creepy. What are you, scared? No. Then come on.
The basement was a huge play area, especially for an 8-year-old boy. I thought that was gonna be the perfect place to go play hide and go seek, because you could go into almost any room, and it's gonna take a while for someone to find you.
I told you this was gonna be creepy. You were right. Wonder what's in here. Open it. Whoa. The thing is really creepy. Yeah. Hey, did you hear something? I'm not scared, Wesley Fox. No, shh. What? Over there. Wesley! I think we should go back outside. Yeah, okay. Hey, look at these old shoes. Whoa.
We noticed a pair of old-fashioned shoes. The shoes didn't look like anything other than just a pair of old shoes.
They must have been left behind by the people who used to live here. I don't know. I'd never seen them before. You haven't?
In 1983, the Fox family moves to a large house in Lowell, Arkansas. For 17-year-old Mary, their new home is a dream come true.
When I first pulled up the house, it was love at first sight. It was like a plantation.
But within hours of moving in, Mary senses an unknown presence.
Hey!
At the same time, her 8-year-old brother Wesley hears the local rumor about the house.
I wouldn't live there if I was you. Why?
That house is haunted.
Get out! I'm gonna get you!
A few days later, the Fox family invites friends and family to a housewarming barbecue. Wesley dares his niece Christy to explore one of the spookiest places in the house, the basement.
Hey, look at these old shoes.
When I saw the shoes moving, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This cannot be happening. This can't be real. We took off running up the stairs. We didn't know what it was, but it scared us.
Mom! Dad! Mom! They moved! They moved! There were shoes in the basement, and they walked with no one in them. In the basement.
Wesley, I told you no running on the stairs.
We tried to tell Mom exactly about the shoes moving, how it happened, but she was angry because we were running up the stairs.
Haunted!
They told us that those shoes had moved, and how could they move on their own? So we thought it was in their imagination.
But they did, really!
Wesley looked like he had just seen the devil himself. Christy, too.
Okay, our house is haunted, just like the kids down the street told me. It's haunted!
All right, Wesley, no more tall tales. Y'all go play.
Kids, huh? Oh, boy. We knew she wasn't going to believe us. It ran through my mind that, the neighborhood kids were right. This house is haunted.
And the neighborhood kids are not the only ones with suspicions.
I guess the rumors are true.
Think they know about the stories? The murders?
Longtime residents tell stories of multiple murders and suicides that have taken place in the house. One rumor is about a mean-spirited philanderer who lived in the house in the 1930s with his wife and mistress.
I say I expect dinner on the table, I expect it. You think I'm made out of money? That we can go out all the time? Your job is in the kitchen, and if you don't like it...
Then one day, one of them snapped.
The roadhouse where I found you.
But no one in town dares tell the Foxes what they've heard.
You walk into one of the convenience stores or to the post office to check the mail, and people be talking, having conversation, and then you walk in, and it's dead quiet. It's like everybody shuts up.
We found it odd at first. We didn't know what to think.
Several weeks after moving into the house, Mary is up late watching a movie.
I just looked up and they're open. It's like, hey, I had those closed. I thought it was the wind. There's lots of big windows, and we had those windows open almost all the time. And I just think, oh, it's got to be the breeze. Well, I got up and closed them again. And then I locked one of them. They had little old-fashioned locks. If you lock the last door, then that lock is supposed to keep the first door from being able to open. They started rattling.
Within days of moving in, Mary Fox and her younger brother Wesley know that something is wrong, terribly wrong, with their family's new house in Lowell, Arkansas.
Hey.
Wesley sees shoes move on their own in the basement, while Mary senses they are not alone in the house.
It felt like you were intruding. Like, you're there, the rent's been paid, deposits have been paid, utilities are on. You're supposed to be there. You belong there. But you felt totally the opposite. Like, you don't belong. You're not supposed to be there.
Late one Saturday night, Mary feels threatened as the entity in their house grows bolder.
Rattling started. It was like somebody was on the other side of these doors, and I know there's no one on the other side. And then, boom, they went open. I jumped up and I ran.
Mary, do you know what time it is?
Mom,
Mary, it's late. You've been running through the halls. You've left all the lights on downstairs. Do you think your father and I are made of money?
I'm sorry, but...
Mom was a very light sleeper. I got the lecture about how, yeah, I'm a night owl, but other people have to get some sleep because they have to get up and go to work the next day.
I think something's wrong with this house.
The house is fine. I'm going back to bed, and you should too.
Mom didn't believe. Now I'm getting mad at this point. And I was like, yeah, some real strange things are going on in this house. Too bad the parents are too blind to see it. I cried myself to sleep that night. trying to figure out how am I going to explain this to Mom and Dad to make them understand what they've done.
Despite her mother's dismissive attitude, Mary is certain their house is haunted. And the bumps in the night continue.
3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and to me, it sounded like somebody was hitting the table.
Carol thinks Mary is up late again. She decides it's not worth her precious sleep time to get up.
What the hell was she doing? You know, she knew we had to get up early.
But Mary is fast asleep. In the weeks that follow, Carol continues to hear strange noises at night, and her relationship with her daughter grows more strained.
Mary, I'm tired. I work 10 hours a day.
Before we moved, me and my mom were pretty close. But by the time we started talking about what was actually going on, Mom and I fought like cats and dogs. We'd argue and argue day after day.
I was always accusing her of making so much noise, and she knew that we had to get up early.
I don't understand why you can't respect me.
I have plenty of respect for you.
You don't show it at all. And I come home and you're running around the house and then you're hiding in your room. You're so distant.
Got it, Mom.
Got it? Mary, you're not listening to me.
Why? I've heard it all before. You're hearing noises at night, somebody's making a racket, and as usual, you blame me. But why can't you see there's something wrong with this house, Mom?
Mary?
There's something else here with us, a ghost or something.
Mary, you're on my last nerve.
I was tired of being accused of doing stuff I didn't do. They're supposed to be doing the protecting, but they refused to see.
One night, Mary has a dream in which she wanders through the house and eventually finds herself in her own bedroom.
Dark Father, we ask your presence.
I'm seeing the attic and I see hooded figures. All of them but one are in black. And there's one that's in a red, bright red.
Except it's blood.
No one appears to notice her, but it's as if the house is trying to let her in on a secret.
We present this to you. We present this to you.
Blessed are the unholy.
Blessed are the merciless.
Blessed are the merciless.
Blessed are the unholy.
Blessed are the unholy.
Blessed are the merciless.
Blessed are the merciless.
For more haunting, visit DestinationAmerica.com. Ever since they moved into their Lowell, Arkansas home, the Fox children have felt the presence of ghosts. One rumor around town is that the property is haunted by the spirit of an old man murdered in the house in the 1930s. But the Foxes are about to find out he's not the only dark entity to walk these halls. In the summer of 1983, 17-year-old Mary has a horrifying nightmare that something awful took place in her attic bedroom.
Dark Father, we ask your presence.
I went to sleep and I'm seeing the attic and I see hooded figures.
Except it's blood.
At first, no one appears to notice Mary's presence.
Blessed are the merciless.
Blessed are the merciless.
And suddenly,
And the man in the red, most evil eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Mary is horrified. She believes this is more than just a dream. It's a message from beyond.
It was too vivid. It was too real. I think the guy in the red, I think he was showing me a story.
A story that could have an unhappy ending for Mary.
After that, I decided I'd never sleep again in my life.
Not long after, Mary is suddenly overwhelmed with a profound sadness she cannot explain.
I went from normal, happy teenager to all of a sudden I felt so sad. I didn't know why I was so emotional, but I felt like everybody in my family had just been like killed in an accident and I was a sole survivor. There's really something going on here. You know, I'm not imagining the god-awful feelings I would get when I would be in that house by myself.
And Mary is not the only one who feels the evil in the house. For weeks, 8-year-old Wesley has been sleeping on a cot in his parents' bedroom.
Well, there was no way I was gonna sleep by myself. It just wasn't gonna happen. That is one creepy house.
One night, Wesley's father works late, but in spite of the presence of his mother, Wesley struggles to sleep.
I was trying to sleep. No matter how hard I could not sleep. And suddenly, there it was. There was a dark, cloaked figure, and I could see its face, but it was just really scaly and green. It almost reminded me of almost like a lizard-type face.
Mom! Mommy!
I reached over and tried to grab my mom, but she wasn't waking up. Then, suddenly it was gone. I hurried up threw the covers over my head. I didn't care if it was hot or not.
Wesley eventually tells his mom about what he saw, but she dismisses his fears.
This figure had like a green, scaly face. It was really scary, but nobody's believed me. At this point, I was very frustrated and very angry. So I knew there was only one thing to do. I knew I needed to tell my sister.
The two exchange ghost stories.
You guys sing them too?
Yeah.
Mary tells Wesley about her nightmare. And Wesley describes the demon he saw in his room.
And then Mary, she looks at me, and I could see it in her eyes that just maybe I have this glimmer of hope that someone's starting to believe me.
Something doesn't want us here. We have to tell Mom.
She's not gonna believe us.
I didn't know what to think. I knew I did not want to live there at this point. I wanted out.
That boy was terrified.
But despite their mutual encounters, Mary can't imagine ever moving out of her dream house.
We're living in a haunted house. That scared me, because I still loved that house. My biggest fear at that time was that something bad was going to happen to Wesley.
But Mary's fears are misplaced. She is the one in immediate danger. The ghosts are not quite finished with her yet. One morning, Mary discovers she's fallen asleep on the living room couch.
No. No.
Get up. Get up. Get up.
It's the fall of 1983 in Lowell, Arkansas. For the past few months, 17-year-old Mary Fox and her 8-year-old brother Wesley have been haunted by entities that inhabit the house.
I was terrified. I tried to stay out of the house as much as possible.
Except it's blood.
There's really something going on here. There's a very dark energy.
One morning, Mary wakes to find out no place in the house is safe.
I thought I was seeing things, or maybe I wasn't quite awake like I thought. I put my head down to go back to sleep.
Get up.
Next thing I know, that man is like right there in front of me, and he's got that cane.
Get up.
Oh, no, stop it! No! Stop!
Mary, Mary, wake up, wake up.
Mary, you're dreaming, honey. Who are you talking to?
I look up at her, and there's an old man standing right beside her, but she doesn't see it.
Were you sleeping here all night?
I wanted to ask her, you know, Mom, do you see that?
Here.
But the words wouldn't come. I'd open my mouth and nothing would come out.
Listen, I'm late for work. I'll see you later, okay?
You got her? Yeah, got her. Hey, why don't we straighten this up and get some breakfast, okay? Come on. You okay, Mary? What happened to you?
It is dark, black and purple bruises all across the lower part of my legs.
Nothing. This ain't nothing. How'd you get those bruises?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
No.
For Jesse, this is the last straw. Finally, everyone in the Fox family is ready to face what's been going on in the house.
We all sat and took turns telling each other the different things that happened. Me, my mother, and of course my sister Mary.
It turns out, for quite some time, their mom Carol has been keeping a secret. She's been sensing things too.
Jesse, I am not crazy. I heard voices in the hall. Angry voices.
I heard the voices. I knew something was wrong with the house.
I mean, all the times that you guys were trying to tell me something.
It scared the hell out of her. You could see that in her eyes when she started talking about it. She was just as scared as we were.
We were extremely scared and didn't know what to do or how to approach it.
Jesse is the only one who doesn't believe anything paranormal is going on in the house. But for the first time, he can see his family is in distress.
I feel like I let you guys down. I've been working so much. I didn't know it was this bad.
I think my father was finally realizing that maybe we're not crazy after all. Maybe there really is something going on that is paranormal here.
All right. I think it's time that we talk to someone at the church. Maybe they can help.
Later that day, Carol and Mary visit their local minister. He turns out to be more skeptical than supportive.
He said he didn't believe there was devils or any demons. It made us feel that he just didn't care. He had no interest in trying to help us at all.
But he does leave them with one bit of counsel.
Read from the Bible, read out loud. Preferably from when Jesus is talking. That gives you more power.
Again, the devil taketh him into an exceeding high mountain.
That night, Jesse decides to take the minister's advice and fight back.
And the glory of them. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Ah!
Dad! Jesse!
Some stabbed me.
It's like something grabbed a hold and kind of burned his hand. We were very scared.
Not only did it go across the room, it went into the next room. And these were big rooms.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, okay? Okay?
At that moment, I realized that there was a lot of power with this entity. I knew it was a very strong entity doing these things. So now, as an 8-year-old boy, I'm fearing for my life.
The family is at their wits' end. Jesse decides to contact his sister, Mary. Aunt Mary is a deep believer in the supernatural and thought by many to have psychic gifts.
My aunt was what we call an empath, where she could feel things a lot more than what normal people can.
Aunt Mary would tell us that if she walked into a house and if there was something in that house, she would know.
Aunt Mary!
Oh, hi! My goodness, you've gotten so big. Look at you.
Aunt Mary was the only person we thought of that maybe could give us some answers.
Aunt Mary immediately senses there is something wrong with the house.
What's up here? The attic. My bedroom. Show me.
She knew it was bad. She knew that the attic was evil.
Oh. Help me.
We pulled it up, and when we did, there was that pentagram in red.
Do you feel the energy in here? Do you feel it? We need to get out of here.
Mom! Dad!
It's the fall of 1983. For the past few months, the Fox family has endured the torments of dark entities in their Lowell, Arkansas home.
Shalt thou serve? Ah!
Jesse's sister, Mary, a psychic, comes to their aid.
Help me.
Immediately, she senses the evil in her niece's bedroom when they uncover a pentagram, a sign of the devil.
I didn't know it was there, and I did not feel it's evil. That scared me too. It was terrifying, confusing, because the attic was my sanctuary.
We need to get out of here.
And Mary? And Mary?
I saw her gasping for air.
Mom! Dad!
She was being attacked. Whatever is in that attic did not want her there.
What's going on? What's going on? Is everything okay?
No. Oh. What is that? There's something evil in this house. It's a pentagram.
She thought it was connected to some type of a coven. She thought it was devil worshippers. And she thought that probably it was connected to the dreams and what I had seen in the dreams.
Aunt Mary believes that satanic rituals in the house conjured the demon, which may have trapped the spirit of the man who was murdered in the house. But that's not all. Aunt Mary warns that young Mary is in danger.
And I think it's after Mary. Me?
The demon is now trying to possess her.
Aunt Mary said that she had the impression that if we stayed any longer, I would be possessed, that I probably would have killed my parents. I probably would have killed Wesley. Maybe I'd just set the house on fire with all of us in it, you know? Something god-awful was gonna happen.
This house has a grip on you, Mary.
She advised us not to spend another night in that house.
Carol and Jesse are convinced.
I'm gonna take this stuff to the car, okay? Yeah. I'll meet you out there.
Okay.
But shockingly, Mary is not ready to go. She is suddenly overcome with an inexplicable calm, as if something is holding her back.
I was the only one that wasn't scared anymore. I didn't want to leave. I don't really know why. I wasn't worried about Wes. I wasn't worried about me.
Mary, what are you doing? You need to pack.
We're never going to find another house like this.
Mary, this house is dangerous. We're not staying here another night. Come on, now.
I begged and I begged and I begged both of my parents. Please, let's just stay, you know, please. Don't move us from here. Why do we have to give up this house? Because of a little fear?
Dad, what's wrong with Mary?
Just get in the car, Wes.
She'll be better once we get her out of this place. Okay, let's go.
I loved that house. And I don't know if it was like an artificial love, like some thought or desire that they had put in my head. It just felt like it had been given to us and then ripped out from underneath us, you know, like a very cruel joke. I think someone was playing with my head. It had to have been a demon sucking the life out of me. Maybe my will to live, because honestly, I don't think I really cared if we made it out alive.
For the next several weeks, unable to rent another home right away, the Foxes split up, living with nearby relatives. They would never step foot in the house again. In 1985, 2 years after the Foxes fled, it was torn down. Years later, Mary Fox, her aunt, and her grown brother Wesley, now a paranormal investigator, researched the history of the home. Several locals spoke of a coven that once met at the house.
There was a lot of rumors that there was devil worshiping done on that property.
Further research confirms that there was a man with a cane who was killed in the house.
I think the man was haunting the house because of being murdered in the house. I think that was his, his domain, his place to torment anyone that he could.
I have never gotten over this experience completely, because there's times when I'll still dream about it. A lot of people don't believe in it. If they ever have an experience with it, they will change their mind.
Today, I'm so much into the paranormal. I do ghost tours. I write books. I do everything, and it's all paranormal, paranormal, paranormal. So to me, this house has shaped my life.
To be tortured by something that you can't see, but you know it's there. It's worse when it's over, because then you got time to sit and think of all the things that could have happened.
In spite of the terror she encountered there, Mary longs for her house and the attic bedroom.
I still loved that house. My favorite book's Gone with the Wind, and this was like our Tara. To this day, if I win the lottery, I'm gonna build a house just like it.